What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tirfon Orbital. Another day, another Solos Hold Corran. I've done more Solos Hold Corrans in the past 3 weeks than I have in my entire install career. I don't know why that is. I'm not complaining. I love the Solos Hold Corran. I have one in my personal collection. I think this is one of the best examples of a speeder hilt. Not the best. The best is the Corcris, which is behind me. It can barely hold. That shelf is like holding on for dear life back there with the Corcris. But yeah, the Solos Hold Corran Horn Elite is just an awesome hilt, right? So anytime I get a chance to install one, I'm really happy to do so, right? So I'm not going to come into Fusion. I feel like I've just beaten that horse to death as far as talking about the chassis, but I do want to come up top and talk about how to use the hilt, talk about the install a little bit really quickly, and then we will put a blade in it, turn off the lights, have a little bit of fun, and then we will be on our way, okay? So let's come up top. All right, so here it is. This is the Corran Horn Elite from Solos Hold. Just an absolutely phenomenal specimen of a Corran Horn speeder hilt. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when the folks over at Solos Hold designed this particular hilt, they took exact measurements off the prop of the speeder grip from the films. So this is a very accurate representation of what a speeder bike grip would feel like. And I love the form factor of this hilt. I think it's really cool. The release mechanism of the grip. With that being said, I don't utilize that in my particular install, but I have seen some very beautiful chassis installs. In fact, I have one from Lightsaber Thailand that utilizes that. That's how you do your reveal. That's how you take the grip off. There's like a push to release mechanism here where you can take the whole grip off. But it's a great hilt. It really is. I can't recommend this hilt enough. I do believe they are still available. So anyway, let's talk about how to use this guy, right? So my particular install of this hilt is a removable chassis that comes out through the pommel. Okay, I do have an upper 6-rail PCB, like a male end of a PCB, that remains up here, and that is what the chassis makes a connection to. Okay, this is a little loose. I'll probably let me actually tighten that now. Let's tighten this guy up before it's flopping around for the whole video. So to get at your chassis, you just want to unthread that pommel. Okay. So here is the chassis. It has been done in pewter rub and buff. This chassis was done in resin. I am still doing this design of this particular chassis in resin because of the amount of greebly work. I love the amount of detail in these greeblies, and I cannot get this granular with FDM, right? So I still do this particular chassis in resin. So this is in resin. I did a pass of pewter rub and buff on this and then sealed it. There is a green and a blue 3mm LED that is embedded in the chassis that blink and pulse. Each one of these are their own blade in the config. Along the other side is a 2020 NeoPixel strip. Now, listen, I know in that previous video that I recorded today, I talked about how I don't want to do this anymore. So I don't want people to think that I'm a hypocrite. This is an old chassis design, right? So I'm slowly going back and doing, I'm revamping some of my old chassis, but as far as like my old chassis designs are concerned, I'm probably just going to keep them as is. And then, of course, if folks do request 2020 NeoPixel strips or Neos all over their chassis, I'm happy to oblige, right? So that is a 2020 NeoPixel strip behind a piece of Mylar underneath this vent here, okay? 28mm bass speaker here. And then up top, we've got that female end of our 6-rail PCB. Now, going around that PCB, there is some Arbesh. It just says Tirfon Orbital Components. Right. And that's another thing about resin. Getting like Arbesh embossed that small, I still cannot do it in FDM, right? And that's it, right? Proffie V3 build in this one. So to use your hilt, or use your chassis, spring side is your negative. You want to take the flat part of your battery, put it down towards the speaker, hit that kill switch. Okay. There's that NeoPixel strip and those two LEDs, right? So once you get your battery in, you can put your chassis in the hilt. It doesn't matter which orientation you put it in. Just slide it in until it stops. Then you want to take your pommel, thread your pommel onto the hilt until that stops. Don't over crank it. Just kind of thread it until it's hugging that chassis. And then you're ready to go. So this is just another one of those examples of perfect resonance in a pommel, honestly. These hilts, when there is a 28mm speaker in them, sound phenomenal. Oops.
What is it?
So I'm of course...
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
I am forgetting to mention that I also weathered this hilt. The customer requested that this hilt be weathered. So this hilt comes from Solo's Hold, anodized in black. So I went back on all of these edges and knocked back the edges with some scouring pads and some carbon sandpaper. I also put some gouges and some nicks along some of the edges, and then went back over those gouges with aluminum black, and then scuffed that aluminum black just to like make it so it's not too prominent, right? This pommel, I removed the guard and I threw this pommel down the street. There's some nicks and gouges in the pommel, right? The emitter has been scuffed just a little bit halfway down the emitter, just to make that look like it's been used and worn a little bit. So just some light heat stain or light weathering. The hardware has all been removed and heat stained as well. Okay? Let's come down to the bottom. So there it is. Solo's Hold. Corran Horn. Elite. I really love this hilt. I say that in every video that I do for this. I really, really do. There's just something about the form factor of this hilt, for me, that is perfect. I have giant hands as it is. It just feels right to me. Let's put a blade in it. So, 1-inch blade holder. You want to take your blade, make sure it's resting on those PCB pins. There is a set screw here that will serve as your blade retention. So just tighten that set screw so it's hugging your blade, and then you are ready to go. I mean, this is like, I don't know what it is about this hilt. It just feels great swinging around. It's just well balanced. It's super light. I don't know.
Ascension.
It's an interesting blade style. Let's see what else we got here. Whole blade cooldown. Okay. That's the one right there. This is binary from Grayscale. This font in particular always sounds so chunky in this hilt. It sounds so good. I love this hilt. One more. All right. So that is it. That is a Solos Hold Corran Horn Elite. I'm a huge fan of this hilt. I probably said that about a dozen times in this video. It's just a great speeder. If you're looking for like the quintessential like specimen of a speeder hilt, this is the one that you're looking for. This one, and of course the Corcris from my boy Benji at Nerf Herder Customs and Jawa's Junkyard. Those are the two, in my opinion, that should be at the top of your list if you are starting your collection for speeder bike grip hilts. Just an awesome. It's just like, I can't explain it. It's just like it feels like it's a bike grip. I mean, it just feels like it should be on a snowmobile or like a speeder. I don't know. Anyway, to the customer, I want to continue reiterating how grateful I am to folks that return to me for business. That means a lot. I'm very, very grateful to people that come back to me for install services. That means a lot to me. So to you, thank you very, very much for choosing me for your install and trusting me with your hilt. To the viewers, if anyone has any questions about this particular hilt, or you don't like the hilt, or you don't like the video, or anything really, just leave a comment below. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching.